It's not that. Don't worry. I'm sorry. Hi, guys. I hope you're all doing well. Hold on one second. As I get everything started. As I get everything started. As I get everything started. Damn it. I almost started the loop. It's okay now. Hi, guys. Welcome to Kitchen Court Cases, where we watch court in my kitchen. And are we watching court today? Yes, we are. Okay. Okay, that's now in my face. Um, I hope you're all doing well. That was a great live from Time Served just now. As you can see, it is still light and bright outside where I am on the west coast of Canada. But I would love to hear what you're having for dinner tonight. And if you didn't like what you had for dinner, I'd love to hear what you wish you had instead. We have some heavy subject matter coming up that I hope to bring a little bit of levity to while also dealing with it as need be. Hi, Steffi B. Hi, Monica C. Hi, Richard Harrison. Hi, Jody Gardner. Hi, Ed. Hi, Lawrence Browning. Hi, Joe. Yeah, if I said Jody, yep. Um, Let me see, Laura in Michigan, Avs and Broncos fan. Hope you guys are all doing well. I am getting some Chinese food tonight, so I'm not going to be cooking other than court, as you will. So, as everyone trickles in, I know I started early. I just can't time these things right at all. So I will preface this by explaining that um, this is a cock block episode. It does not have a resolution. It does not have an ending. It ends and we don't get any resolution. And unfortunately, it wasn't even my fault. This is just the court really did not come back today. So I spent all day checking, refreshing, and hoping that they would come back. Monica C is today is your birthday? Happy birthday, my friend. And thank you so much, Laura. I appreciate you so much. Oh, good. Charles is doing a little bit better too. Amy, thank you for that update. Monica, happy birthday to you. You will see me twerk too. Ah, thank you so much, you guys. Seriously, you are all awesome. Oh, yeah. Okay. So, okay, Ed's had 3-bean soup, potatoes, corn, cooked outside propane, shared tuna with my kitty. I like that. Um, Let me see. Oh, yeah, Jody Gardner had shrimp and sausage jambalaya. Um, and everybody, what? Monica sent me a video of the judge saying happy birthday to you or HD. The heck does that mean? I think it means happy birthday. Lisa had Chinese, happy family, and crab rangoon. Okay, I've heard of crab rangoon, but that is not something we have in Canada, Chinese food. It's just not. So, um, but I want to try it. One of the YouTube channels that I watch, the guy really likes crab rangoon. Okay, is it like a stuffed wonton? Like a wonton wrapper stuffed with something? Crab? Could it be crab? Um, Maggie May just woke up at 4. Lisa B is here. I bet it sounds like crab and cheese, maybe? I'm not sure. Anyways, okay. So like I said, guys, I want to give a warning and I would appreciate immensely in the chat if you guys can help me remind new viewers as they join us that what we are watching tonight is adult material. Unfortunately, there are some serious allegations that are made. There is some true serious discussion about DV, domestic violence, family violence, and if that is triggering to you at all or you prefer not to watch that kind of stuff, I totally don't mind. You're absolutely free to dip out now. Um, Sometimes these cases are triggering to me too. However, I think it's very important to try and shed some light on them, even if it's just for somebody who maybe is going to be going for a TPO hearing in the future and doesn't know how it goes. The way that we dissect these a little bit can help with that. Maybe. Obviously not real legal advice, but you know what I mean. That's what I'm telling myself anyways. So, please be aware that there is some mature content within tonight's episode, but we are going to be treating it with as much respect as we can. But there is going to be some twerking. So, just so we're aware. Okay. Okay, so Jody's telling me a wonton wrapper with crab, diced green onions, deep fried in peanut oil. Just crab and green onion? Wow. So we would call that I guess a crab wonton, not a crab ragoon. But okay. So this is in the state of Georgia, in DeKalb County, Georgia, one of our favorite places. So yeah, oh, definitely no license here. I'm licensed for things, but not this. Oh, I laugh at my own jokes. Hi, Lenny Lynn. It is Monica's birthday today, guys. I would love to see some birthday cakes in the chat for Monica. She is a great friend of the channel, a great friend of mine, and we love you very much. So let us get going with this case. I will pop in as needed. I'm going to pin a comment with a trigger warning. That's what I'll do.
All right, we're back on position 22.
Also, like I said, look at that chat. I love it, you guys. Happy birthday, Monica. I love it. So guys, like I said again, we don't get an ending. We just get the drama. That's all we're going to get here today. Drama, no ending. Hi, Arbitrary Hubris. Hi, Melissa, aka Mel. Hi, Courtney. It is Monica's birthday today, and also this is a bit of a triggering TPO with some DV involved. Med check. Thank you, Steffi B. Med check, folks. If you're new here, med check means, do I take medicine? Do I need to take medicine? And if you don't take medicine, come and tell us what that's like in the chat, because we all have our pills.
Thank you all. I'm trying to move cases that are finishing up for some other reason. Okay. The people who have the hearings, unfortunately, we just have to keep bouncing you back as we work on those other ones too. Okay. Now, Miss Richardson.
Yes.
Let me get the echo off. Okay. All right. We're still on with echo. All right. Does anyone know when it's going to stop? So we can have this hearing? All right, are we done? Okay, Ms. Richardson. So in your petition, you allege that there have been multiple incidents of respondent being verbally, sexually, and physically violent towards you since you dismissed your TPO in March.
So there was no physical, like him putting his hands around my neck again, but everything else, absolutely. Which is why I'm just, because to be honest, I mean, I don't want a divorce. I just want I don't want him to be even, I wish he didn't have to be gone. I just want him to realize that these things are not okay, and the kids shouldn't be seeing this or hearing it. And as much as I would like the 30 days to have been enough, I just know that his pattern and his history even back to his first marriage, it has proven that that most likely could very well not be the case. So, you know, am I afraid that he's going to come home and, you know, try to, you know, kill me or physically like punch me in the face or something? No, I'm not afraid of that. I don't think at this point he would do anything like that. But everything else, I just don't know. And then by doing everything else, it just leads to other things. Like if I say anything back and end up having a heated conversation, I don't know. I really don't know what the best decision is, to be honest.
So I think we can hear the difficulty in her voice. She's having a hard time with this decision. This is obviously something that they are dealing with. And again, this is why I'm saying these are serious cases. This is again why it bothers me when certain cases sometimes have pro bono representation or representation via the state, and then other cases don't. I don't know what their threshold is for that, and I don't know what magic words you have to say to get the pro bono lawyer. Like, we've seen cases that absolutely are not court worthy handled by TPO pro bono, the DeKalb County pro bono. Time served. Thank you so much. Monica, check your email. He has come into the chat dropping donos for me. Thank you very much. But Monica is a great help to everybody here in our community. And so we thank you and love you so much, Monica. Seriously, love you so, so much. It's coming though. That oh yeah is coming. Sorry, guys who hate it.
Oh, yeah.
So, when I first started listening to this case, this is where I was upset. I could hear in her voice this defeated tone, and it worried me. Then, I continued on, and this case just blows up in many different ways. But, all of our mods are the best. Time served. There's no question about that. We have the best community on the YouTubes, and they travel around from chat to chat being awesome. That is how you guys are. So anyways, let's continue on. Again, please heed the trigger warning. If this is tough for you, please dip out. That is okay. We are very spoiled. We are very, very spoiled to have such great chat and to have such great people in here. And I think that that's what makes it fun. We talk about things. You guys sometimes tell me things I never would have thought about, and that is important. So, and I hope I do with you guys too. Okay, let's get going. His face, first of all, good camera. I'd like to point that out. It's rare. Yeah, our Fulmer, you're going to hear that in this case a lot. And as usual, we're listening to one side first, and we are going to hear him speak. We will not get a ruling in this case today. It never came back. They never ruled. But I'll give you all that I've got.
When you all argue, does it turn physical or threatening?
So recently, no. And that's why when that happened in March, it really caught me off guard because he's always been verbally abusive, like cursing and calling me the B word in front of the kids, or and that's not good either. I'm not saying that should be normal, but unfortunately that has been the case. But as far as the physical aspect of things, it caught me off guard, especially because sorry, I'm like kind of shaking, but it's kind of because I wasn't even in his face. I wasn't cursing at him. My finger wasn't in his face or anything. It's just like something randomly just came over him and at that moment.
Okay.
And I'm sorry.
That's okay. I was just going to ask, did something happen that made you file this in May?
Yes, just because even though he hadn't physically put his hands around my neck again, his behavior, like it's almost as if he just hates me. That's why I asked Miss Johnson to ask him, does he just want to get a divorce? Because the way he speaks to me and the lack of respect that he has for me in front of the kids, I'm just like, how can you can't love a person that you treat that way. So, you know, I I asked him, did he want to get divorced? He said no. So I'm just like, well, if you don't want to communicate with me, I've asked several times, can we go to family counseling? I've asked him to come to church, but I know that's the touchy, delicate topic. So, I understand that, but at least doing something to make an effort to work on our marriage, especially for the kids' sake. There's 4 kids in the house that shouldn't be seeing you or hearing you say or do all these things, and for them to know that you're, and hear you threatening to kick us out of our home and, all these things. Sorry. It's just been a lot. So I felt like me not moving forward with the last PTO because I was afraid. I was afraid. I didn't know if, nobody just wants their family to blow apart like that. So, I didn't move forward. But then to see him still being this like ugly.
So I've watched, as many of you guys have, a lot of TPO cases. Probably more than some lawyers, to be honest, because lawyers are busy practicing law, not watching YouTube court all day long. But I'm a pretty good judge of character in my own estimation. I do what she's saying and what she is not saying is very important. Um, she's actually not even bashing him through the mud very badly. She's really glossing over the fact that he's put his hands around her neck. Again, and Jody said this earlier. I think it was Jody. This is why, as parents and a society, we must teach children to respect themselves and others and to be independent. Absolutely. Absolutely. Our daughters and our sons, we need to teach them about the type of respect that you give and that you get. And it does arbitrary hubris. So she's saying that she has no animosity to him. It makes her credible, so credible. It really does. Now, well, again, like I said, don't know why some of these cases have lawyers and some don't. I believe what's happened is that she's realized that this is the right thing to do, made the very hard decision to get a TPO and enforce that, and is having a hard time with it. Like, to me, it's almost as if she thought this would shake him awake. Like, you could lose me, you could lose our whole family. And I mean, what she said, she almost sounds like she's like, I'm willing to take this verbal abuse. That was par for the course. But you really can't choke me in public or in front of the children. It's like, yeah, again, like, I can see what she's doing. She's negotiating a little bit maybe in her stage of grief. This is in DeKalb County, Georgia. So again, we will hear him speak. He has an explanation for a lot of this, but again, I'll reiterate this trigger warning. There is domestic violence, allegations of SA, and other things coming up. So please be prepared for that. Also, happy birthday, Monica.
Person, this hateful person to me in front of the kids, cursing me out before we go to church, you know, and threatening us when we come from church. I had to hold my phone up on FaceTime in the church to show him, like, I'm not sitting next to any guys. Like, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
It's just been like overwhelming. And I don't think that anybody has told, I mean, I'm obviously the only person that's telling him this. You know, his family can't be telling him this. They've cut us, so they've cut me off. So for him, because that's where he was all this time. So if his family's, I took that as if his family is not even calling to check on me or the kids. If his family's not checking to see how we're doing financially, because they know that he has not allowed me to work the last going on 3 years, you know, he knows
Why are
this.
you not allowed to work?
He said, like, after I had Sebastian, he just said it was, he made it seem as though it was a waste of time to try to work. I would be wasting gas, wasting time, wasting money, trying to go back to school. I should just stay home. And initially I was thinking, oh yay, like my husband just wants me to stay at home. But I've realized this was just a means of major control, because that's the first thing out of his mouth, out of his father's mouth. When I called the police, when he put his hands around my neck, his dad called yelling at me, telling me I was stupid for doing that. What am I going to do? Because I know I don't have anything. So it's just been like this mental thing. And
Did you you put something in your petition about checking your bank account to make sure your family's not sending you money?
yeah, yeah, I think the day before.
Ladies and gentlemen, please keep your own bank accounts. Please keep your own bank accounts. Just one. I'm going to put it to you this way. If your spouse has a problem with you having your own bank account, you might need to have a problem with your spouse. I am not saying that you should have separate finances necessarily. It's just, to me, as a person who is a partner sometimes, like, that ain't my business. Like, you are your own person. It's so odd to me. You can become financially dependent in a financially dependent in a different way if you have your own bank account and separate earnings. You can be excluded from your partner's earnings perhaps in a different way. But personally, I think that it is important to have autonomy in terms of your own spending. Within reason, of course. But, what you're going to hear here is he sent money to her via his family and then demanded to see her banking information to verify what she spent it on. That is absolutely financial abuse, in my opinion, form of it, or coercion. Just to me.
He left because of all this. He asked me often to look at my bank account, but that specific day, he, I think a week before, their grandmother, my older two kids' father, who's barely around anyway, randomly sent his mother $200 to send to me for the kids. And, you know, he wanted to check my bank account because he said I didn't tell him, and he wanted to check my bank account to see what I spent the money on. And then he tried to tell me, like, anyway, I don't know if that's important, but yes, he constantly asked me to show him my bank account. And if you were to look at my bank account now, you would see the only money going in my account has only ever over the last 3 years been from him. So I'm not getting any additional money from anywhere, but I don't know.
Okay. And did something happen right before his surgery?
Um, so his surgery was April 20th. All that other stuff happened in March. So pretty much right before, whether it was right before the surgery or after, it was just verbal. And as the weeks went on, that's when that sexual abuse situation happened. And to be honest, that wasn't even as bad as it has been because he wasn't as strong, but nothing physical, like I said.
Can you tell me when you, like, it wasn't as bad as it has been? Can you tell me how it was?
I mean, if I said no, he would just force me. He would just rip my underwear off and just push my legs open. Period. Like,
You guys know I find the most sexy thing you can find is consent. I'll say it again for the people in the back. Consent is mandatory. I don't care if you're married. I don't care if they're your slave. Seriously, I don't. And she is now convincing herself, and what she's going to say here in this next minute broke my heart. Um, Ladies and gentlemen, anybody who's listening, if you don't want something and you say no, or if you can't figure out how to say no, but you feel weird about something sexual, you need to talk to somebody about it. You need to figure that out because that is not how a good relationship goes. That is not. And I'm not talking about couples that acquiesce to a request of a partner because they want to and because they enjoy pleasing their partner. I'm talking about this is to me the R word. This is full on. But it's worse because it's somebody that you should be able to trust and care about and love you, who should protect you from that at all costs. And he's going to have a interesting defense to this coming up. We will see. Again, I still find her testimony extremely credible. I'd love to hear what you guys say in the chat. He's certainly intrigued. He's watching very closely. But also Judge Kleinrock is too. She's a quiet but contemplative type of judge, I think.
it was just that simple. I'm not stronger than him, but you
So
know,
how often did that happen?
oh, I don't even know. That's happened for over the years. That's just happened over the years. And I don't really tell him no like that anyway, even when I don't want to, just because I don't want any problems. But the times that I have, it didn't really matter. There's been some times where he just left me alone, but it's been more times where he just forced me to do it. And then, like I said, this last time he wasn't that strong, so he just followed me around and jerked at everything.
All right. You said that you sent some things to the court. What did you send?
I sent the crime case from 2018. I sent the previous PTO. I didn't know if that would matter or not, but I just sent it. I sent a copy of his bank statements just because, and I hate to, it's like I'm not trying to cause him any harm, but I know if he'll do it to one wife and kid, he'll do it to me. So he's gotten out of child support a lot because he claims that he does not make a certain amount of money, but I know better. And
Well, child support for first wife is probably not going to be relevant.
oh no, I just sent his bank records so they could show if I had to ask for any sort of help that he has money there. There's that he does make enough. I wouldn't, and it's not like I would be trying
I
to.
see what you're saying. If we get to that, okay.
Mhm.
Anything else?
Did I think did I name 4 things? I think that might have been, oh, and the police report from March. I can't remember the actual date. I'm sorry, but it was from this past March.
Okay. The police report narrative portion we don't usually look at because that can be hearsay unless there needs to be some impeachment. But
Of course.
if we need to, we'll get those exhibits. Okay. But it sounds like everything you've told me already. Okay. We've got, all right. If you want us to take a look at any of it, we can. The TPO is, I understand that you filed that. We can see it in here. But the police report stuff, you already told me you called the police and anything the police.
So just to explain a little bit here, what she's referring to, there was an initial TPO filed in March, separate from this hearing right now. The judge is going to ask about it a little bit in a moment, and the details of it are disturbing. I am only assuming that she didn't show up for the 12-month hearing for that case. Otherwise, based on what we hear, there should have been a 12-month temporary protective order granted. Again, this woman sounds like she's on the brink. She's teetering back and forth of how to deal with this and what to do. And I feel very much for her. I wish I could reach out and hug her and take her to my house and keep her for a little while and give her some confidence and love.
Said is, but we can, if you think that there's something I need to read in it, we can.
I don't really know.
Okay, well, we may pull it up because I'm going to hear from him, and then I'm going to hear from you again, and we can pull up the exhibits if you need them. Okay.
Okay.
Mr. Richardson, do you have any questions you want me to ask her? Let me say this. You don't need to ask her questions unless you want to, because I'm going to hear from you. So if you just want to tell me your side of the story, you can, or if you have any questions, you can ask me and I will decide if it's appropriate to ask her.
I have no questions to ask her.
Okay. All right. So Ms. Richardson, if you'll stay muted, and now I'm going to hear from Mr. Richardson. Mr. Richardson, can you please tell me your full name?
John Antonio Richardson.
Okay, Mr. Richardson. So if you.
She loves him still, you can tell. Her face softened when he said his name. I feel for her. Oh man.
You can tell me what you want me to know about the allegations against you related to this petition.
Yes. I would like to state that I feel I have been cited with a defamation of character. And in regards to the TPO.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking you about.
Sure. Where it states respondent is ordered not to have any contact, direct, indirect, or through another person with petitioner by telephone, fax, email, or any other means of communication. I like I myself.
Oh, I forgot. Okay. I forgot about how we got here. Yeah, this is his very odd defense to this TPO. Um, let's keep in mind how she did in terms of dragging him through the mud or not, right? She didn't, in my estimation. She really could have said a lot more and she didn't. Um, and watch what he does.
Honored that TPO and did not violate that. My wife, she communicated with me the the day that I was served the TPO. So my wife came to the front door with the officer, and she stood there while the officer communicated with me. Then my wife went back to the vehicle. We waited for the sheriff to come. Once the sheriff arrived, 30 minutes later, he issued me the TPO. He told me I was not, he reiterated, I was not to have any communication at all with the petitioner, nor my family was to contact the petitioner on my behalf. And the both, it goes on both sides, that neither myself or the petitioner were to communicate with each other or have our family members communicate through us.
Mr. Richardson, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I'm talking about the allegations about what led to the TPO being issued. Your wife is actually not subject to the TPO. So it's not, she doesn't have a prohibition of contacting you. Whether or not that's a good idea, that's another story. But I'm asking you about what is alleged in the petition and what she's testified to here today. That's what I'm talking about.
So, I lost my train of thought.
I'm so sorry. I just, we've got
I'm
some
sorry.
good cases and I want to just focus you on what I need
Sure.
to hear about.
So the entire, well, is, I guess what I'm trying to convey to you has a great relevance from some.
Also, is this a little bit of word salad? To my psych professionals in the chat, it's so jumbled. Like he's saying words, but they are not really the right words to be saying in this moment. It's very odd. It's a very odd stance to take. He didn't defend any of the accusations yet. He's really like went off about her contacting him. And I was shaking my head no, because I'm sorry, sir. I don't think you understand, but that protection order is not against her. It's against you. While it's not a good idea to reach out to somebody that you've just put a protection order against, it's not illegal and it's not allowed. So again, yeah, maybe he's just trying to find something to say and he's not working. His words are dry salad with no flavor. I like that. Dandelions.
From the TPO where, like, my wife contacted my sister. Well, she did it on a messenger, and she stated her current position as to her thoughts in regards to my daughter's TPO and mine. And I'm sorry, I've really gotten unfocused.
Okay, let me ask you a couple questions and then maybe that'll help you. You heard what she said about what happened in March regarding putting your hands around her neck and pushing her up against a wall. Did that happen?
I did. My wife has, she has, she's on a streak of revenge. So, and I documented, I sent all the, like texts that that copied her expressions, where she's stating that my daughter is like a demon. She hates her soul.
Which daughter are we talking about?
I have a, yes, I do. Her name is
daughter.
19.
Okay. So I'm sorry, did you answer my question about whether you put your hands around her throat and pushed her against the wall?
I'm sorry, I thought I said I did not.
You did not. Okay.
So Chelsea, my wife Chelsea, she has.
Can we get a my wife counter going? Because the possessive, it's very cringe, isn't it? Hi guys, please make sure you've already clocked in for your shifts down below by hitting that like or dislike button. Nana's back with the Chinese food.
I have it documented in the text that she sent, where she is disgruntled against the things that happened between her and my daughter, even where her and my daughter got in a physical fight. I was trying to bring the two of them together to mediate their disagreements, and it turned into a physical altercation. At the one period of time where I was trying to restrain my daughter to ensure that she didn't leash back out at my wife Chelsea, I had my daughter Chelsea contained in a corner, and I had my arm up like around close to her neck to stabilize her.
Oh, okay. Are they both named Chelsea? That, if that's the case, he has a slight understandableness to be using my wife Chelsea as opposed to if his daughter is also named Chelsea. I will give him that. Hi, Carrie T, Michael and Houston. I love you guys. Laura, it's true, right? Mine. Also, um, he doesn't have two wives. He has a first wife, and this is his second wife. They've been married for approximately 4 years. They have two biological children together, and this wife, the current wife, has two other children, I believe. So, again, this is an odd stance to take. Like, he's not answering the question that was asked yet again.
And then I had to turn around, and my wife Chelsea was attempting to physically fight my daughter. So they both were swinging at each other. So I had to grab my wife and try to restrain her from physically fighting my daughter. And of course, during that time period, I was just fussing and probably cursing as well. I'm trying to bring peace between the two of them, and here they are, getting in a physical altercation. So the entire time, I don't know, it's a mess. If I were allowed to read some of the verbiage on the messenger, you could better understand how I'm being targeted by my wife. And
I'm interrupting a lot on this one. I don't really care what she texted you. You can't choke somebody. You can't. You just cannot do that unless you have explicit consent first. It's so frustrating. Like, really, she could have texted him anything, any combination of letters, any of them. Letters, words, sentences. Doesn't matter. Does not justify that. If she made terroristic threats to you, dude, go to the police. If she's threatening your daughter, go to the police. Like, there are proper recourse measures to take for this. I don't like this, the argument, like his like as if that's an okay thing to do. Dude, we've heard that you call her while she's in church to FaceTime so that you can see she's not sitting beside any guys. Like, leave room for Jesus much? Jesus.
We'll get to any exhibits that you have, but they're going to need to be relevant, okay? And
They speak about my wife.
So is that the incident that you're talking about in March? Did that happen in March?
That's correct. Right.
All right. And have you been threatening her when she goes to church? You're going to wish that you never went there.
So my wife is a member of this church group, IUIC, and they speak on the Bible, but then they push opinionated thoughts out on their members too. So whereas when my wife come home or throughout my day at work, she sends me scripture and says that this is what the Bible says and this is what you should do. So my wife converts over to trying to lead as head of the household. So we have discussions about.
Sir. 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 Oh my God. Oh, Lord. Yeah, opinionated thoughts. Like somebody's filling her head with thoughts, and I am supposed to be filling her head with thoughts. I don't know who's doing this. She's coming home thinking I shouldn't be beating her and everything, Your Honor. Like, dude, do you know how you sound right now? You don't sound powerful. You don't sound like the head of any household. Let me tell you that. I have met real men that could, well, many men that would just sweep the floor with you, dude. And you'd never stand up to them because you're scared of that. You're scared of somebody who, like that. You pick on a woman that you beat down. And then you wonder why she's fighting back the only legal way she can. Sir. Like, I would like to talk to this guy because I might be a small chick, but I am feisty.
About that. I definitely believe in the Bible, in the scripture in the Bible, and living by the commandments. I'm not an atheist at all. I'm just not.
Before you just go and drag atheists through the mud there, bud, you are not coming across here like, oh my God, I know what verse it is too. I've seen all that Instagram stuff. Whatever. 33, I don't know what it is. Regardless. My advice stands. Ladies, be independent. A real man will love you for that. And he will love you for your strength. And if somebody is calling, actually, here's a little side story. That happened to me one time. Somebody actually called a person that I was like talking with, hanging out with a bunch of people. His wife called and made him FaceTime and like show the place. And I was taken aback. I started lipping off right there. I was like, what the fuck are you doing? Are you joking? He's like, oh, it's just my wife on the phone. I'm like, I don't care. That's really weird. Like, it's not like she's a friend. It's just like this situation. Like, show me who you're with. No, I'm not going to do that.
Not certain about that IUIC group, and they appear to have a lot of control over my wife's thoughts. So a lot of times, so it's gotten to the point where my wife is
Also, yes, look at the judge. Look at the judge's face. She is the epitome of an educated, independent woman, we have to assume. This is a woman who's gone through higher education, who has gotten a law degree, who has been a practicing lawyer, who has become a judge sitting on a bench. And she's having to listen to this dude who's like, oh, my wife is listening to the church too much and won't do what I want. Not the right one to do this in front of. I don't know which judge. Can you imagine Judge Manning? Oh, I would pay to see Judge Manning deal with this. It was Judge Manning's birthday recently too. You and Monica. I say like you as in Judge Manning watches because I believe in my heart she does. So
her opinion is, she feels as though it's the lead opinion in the household, and me is, she says the male is the head of the household, but then she tries to regulate the household. So if she feels that she wants to go to service at 6 o'clock in the evening, she feels that it's okay to stay there until midnight. And I expressed that I strongly disagree that keeping the babies out and at this organization that I have no I don't know anything about them. And I think staying out to 12 o'clock at night is excessive.
yeah, I'm gonna go out on a limb here, my bro, and imagine that if you didn't berate her and physically assault her on a regular basis, she might want to come home before midnight. Do you know what kind of dire situation you have to be in to want to stay at a church until midnight? That's a cry for help. That is a cry for help. I'm sorry. Like this is and guess what? You might have guessed I was not really raised in any religion. In Canada, religion is not as big a thing as it is in the States. It's also something that you would never speak about with a random person. Like you would never ever mention even like going to church. Like it's just not something you do. You don't impart your religion upon others. The one exception to that is, of course, the Jehovah's Witnesses. I have a special method for getting rid of Jehovah's Witnesses that we will talk about one day. But that includes being naked. No. Seriously, this is the only part of me that is okay playing this without knowing an ending is that I feel like I know where the judge's heart is right now, but we'll see. We'll see, right? And again, Amy, you've put up such a great point. If you care so much about who she sits beside at church, do you know whose seat you could fill? That one right beside her. If you worry about when she's going out late to church, go with her, sir. Seriously. Especially, it's not even like he's saying, I'm not religious. That would be totally different. He's already claiming the religiousness.
So do you, I understand how you feel about that church in particular. Do you say any threats to her about you're going to wish you never went? I'm going to take the kids away or kick you out?
We speak about, well, she'll tell me what she feels the head of household should be. And, other things that the scripture that she's picked up from going to that group, she'll bring it back. So she says to me that I'm not living up to the word of God. I'm not a kingdom man. And let's see. One thing
I'm
was
asking you about what you said to her.
Right. So
Right.
I guess, well, you're looking for
a direct to that part yet. So if you could,
sir, pause you for a reason.
So
she does some things to you about it. I'm asking you if you threatened her about going to that church.
No, I'm fine with her going to that church. I just merely said go in a respectable hour, and
sir,
I've said that if she feels as though I'm not living up to an IUIC.
Okay, I apologize. I messed that up. God. Oh, because they're gonna make it big. Also, he can't answer a question. Has he answered one single one? I don't know.
Kingdom man, even though I live by the commandments. I don't commit adultery. I go to work 6 days a week. I come home, spend time with the family, do things with the kids. I don't go out with, I don't have any male friends. I just go to work and come home, spend time with the family. So I don't do anything that's outside of the Bible's teachings and things. So I tell her, if she feels as though I'm not living up to her standards as a kingdom man, then maybe she should consider that, you know, that we separate, and she marry a kingdom man from IUIC, because of, she says that I'm not worthy.
Okay. I'm going to give you an opportunity to show us exhibits that are relevant in a moment. But do you have anything else to say about any of the other allegations that she said today?
They do not hold full value. They are inflated. Oh, and the allegations were about the sexual activity, the physical forcing.
Mm-hmm.
I have a condition in my spine where I have degenerated disc. They're bulging, and we were even that was even prior to a vehicle accident that we were involved in. Since that accident, I've been treating with a spine surgeon. I mean, a spinal doctor at the VA hospital for over 3 years. I have been put on, like, I'm not disabled by any means, but it's a work restriction type authorization from the doctor that states that I'm not able to operate and perform at full capacity, that I have limitations on my strength and my back.
What kind of job do you have where your doctor has to tell that you can't rape people? Oops, R word. But seriously, it's again irrelevant weaved in with relevancy. Dawn was never here. Never here at all. Oh, this story, Lawrence, is going up and then down.
So I have a reduction in my ability to be I'm still a man, of course, but I have limitations. So my strength is not up to par at all because of my back. And also, where it comes into that allegation about physically, and I just wanted to cite to the core, even though I am a man, my wife and I are of equal height. She's dominant of me in weight, and I'm 20 years her senior. So I'm 50. I will be 52. She's 32. So she's very strong. I used to be very strong, but not anymore. And then where it comes to ripping her clothes off and forcing her legs, again, she's strong and youthful. I have also been speaking with a primary care doctor because was speaking to them about my testosterone, my body, because it's breaking down. I'm losing my ability to perform like I used to. And I've also mentioned to the doctor that I'm suffering from ED. And I recommended testosterone shots and supplements to offset my lack of erection. That was over 9 months ago when I spoke to him to make the appointment, which means, of course, that condition existed even prior to that. I even had an appointment today to go in to be to get a deeper consultation about my ED situation. And I understand you said we'll cite evidence.
Well,
But
yeah, we can switch to exhibits if you have, but so the way this works is you can tell us I think you have a lot, and so you're going to need to try to direct the clerk to what is relevant. Okay, related to the allegations in this petition.
So I think it's important to remember, first of all, they have a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old. So he was getting it up at least one time a little while ago. Secondly, let's remember that he's talked about these problems. Let's remember that he said he's having this issue. And now let's hear what he says about what his wife did about this.
Okay.
right.
So,
And
what
overall,
are we looking for the exhibits?
oh, well, I was within my exhibits, I had included where the petitioner, so she cited me for being abusive and mean and sexually aggressive. And I understand you saying the petitioner could have been reaching out to me, but if my wife was so tormented and distressed from me physically taking advantage of her, it was my question as to why she was sending me a lingerie model in a garter belt, like sexual content type lingerie to, and
So that was after
that was during the
TPO.
That was during the TPO. She sent me that. Then she sent me a video of where we went to a hotel for her birthday to celebrate, and she was doing seductive dancing and like twerking, like where you pop your bottom, and like suggestive.
So that was sent during the TPO.
That's correct.
Okay.
So she said, and this like, I'm sorry.
That's okay. So you've described the exhibit. We'll see if we need to see it. Anything else that you want to tell me about, or we can pull up on an exhibit that has something to do with the allegations?
There's a lot in the exhibits. Oh, where she says mean and hateful to the kids. I was having a great deal of trouble uploading content, and
he was having a great deal of trouble uploading content, which is why I have replaced the content of the video he's talking about, the twerking that he was talking about, the seductive dancing that she was doing. Honestly, yet again, it actually shows that she cared in a way. Also, oh my God, Steffi B. She just wrote, I bet he had a hard time uploading. Oh, I love you guys so much. Seriously, Oh, I'm out of shape. I'm out of shape from twerking like that. Monica, that is your birthday twerk, just so you know. And no, seriously, again, he thinks this makes her sound bad. She's she's trying again. Also, yes, I apologize for having to make us laugh in this very serious matter, but I could not resist.
And that department that manages that, they can cover, justify my attempts. But there's a lot of content that I could not load. So there's a lot of some footage that I was able to upload where me and the kids interact and play with one another. I go outside with them and play on the scooters, and they always cling to me and have fun. Like, they're happy when they're around me.
Well,
And
she
even
hasn't said anything about you being. I haven't heard anything about that, so I understand. So some of the exhibits are pictures of you and the kids having fun. Okay.
right where she was saying that what I felt, she's painting a picture that I'm verbally just a hateful father and mean to the kids, when it's in actuality the kids cling to me more than her. They
Again, doesn't matter. And Shaquille Oatmeal has pointed out something really important. There is nothing, absolutely nothing wrong with testosterone replacement therapy. Most men indeed do need that after 50. In fact, guys, if you go and get your testosterone tested, something you should ask about is actually the range that the doctor is looking at, because it's very important. The range of normal for testosterone levels can be very wide for a doctor. So, for example, somebody could be 1,000-point difference between somebody else, both considered in the normal category. So even if you're normal, ask what the level is, because you could be at the very lower end of that spectrum and still be benefiting from hormone or testosterone therapy. Again, that doesn't make you R-word people. That doesn't make you none of that. And again, it is not an excuse for any of this. It's just something that guys have to deal with as they go forward. So again, there's nothing embarrassing about that. There's nothing embarrassing about having ED. There's nothing embarrassing about that. And I don't think she was even trying to make him feel bad about it. She was trying. She was sending him sexy videos, trying to do what she could. If you are a guy and yes, so Jacqueline says there are the ranges according to age, which is very important. Absolutely. And so some doctors might not be in the know that much about that, but find the right doctor so that they comprehend. If you go to them and say, things are slowing down in a different way, I'm not feeling the same pep in a way, and that is on there, it can be very helpful for guys and nothing to feel bad about. I did think I heard him say earlier, two things. Firstly, guys, if you are using Viagra or other pills for that reason, you need to be aware. I believe it is how contraindicated with naloxone. So naloxone is the reverse agonist, I believe, for opiates. And if a lot of younger guys even use Viagra without telling people, they might get it from their friends. And so why I say this is because it's very important to note that they can interact very badly together. So especially in groups of people like construction workers or like younger people that may be using opiates but also may be using Viagra, you really need to it's hard because that's not the type of thing somebody's ever going to tell you necessarily, but you do need to be careful with that when you are dealing with people that might OD, unfortunately. Now, Also, yes, sometimes women are low on testosterone as well. Hormone checks are important for everybody, but obviously a little more obvious for men in some ways. Yes, contraindicated with nitroglycerin, contraindicated with a couple different things. But the issue is, and the reason I say this is because in a first aid course I did once, I was the only girl, and they were giving lessons, and it was a like occupational first aid, so in your workplace. And a lot of the people were from construction sites where you're going to have younger men. But I'm telling you right now, guys, share the pills. They'll use it. They're not telling anybody. So it's actually very important to have sort of an open dialogue about that. And just be like, it's not a big deal. Just, you got to let us know. It's like when people who use meth go to the dentist. It's like, you actually have to tell us because you could die. Okay.
Off, you know,
I'm trying to find out if there are any specific exhibits that we need to look at, because you said you sent a bunch in, and
they all have some relevance. They all have some relevance, especially
Madam Clerk, how many exhibits are there?
Judge, it looks like maybe a page and a half or almost 2 pages.
Oh my goodness.
So if he have them labeled, if he want to say B7 or A1, I can pull it up that way. So sir, if you can just tell me how you have it, R1 or whatever, I can pull it up for you.
okay. I'm opening up. Well, I put them all like they are.
Oh, just wait. Just watch the judge's face as this next little bit develops. Watch her face.
All relevant. They all have some content in them. So, like,
I know, but we don't. I mean, like, we do have other hearings, and we can't go through.
Okay,
I mean, first of all, let me tell you something. When people testify, I'm listening to you. You've sworn to tell me the truth. Both of you have. If there's something you want me to see that the other one disputed, you can tell me and we can pull it up. If there's, I don't even know, 40 exhibits of, you have pictures with your kids, I don't need to see that. Okay, that's not really relevant to whether her allegations against you regarding her. So, so I'm not going to go tabbing through the exhibits myself. Do you have any idea of the ones that aren't pictures of your kids that have something to do with this?
Okay, so where she's has painted a picture of me performing a lot of sexual activity, like there's video A4.
Whoa, we're not just going to play videos about sexual activity. So can you tell me what it purports to be?
Sure, that particular piece of evidence, it refers to like where she's the aggressor on me. So she's in that particular one, she's sitting on my lap, grinding on me.
Okay, so first of all, this is on the internet, so I am, taking that into consideration, but I'm also listening to what you're saying. I understand your testimony to be that whatever she's saying about that, she has also been an instigator of sexual activity. Is that what you're telling me?
Correct. And there's one, I think there's an exhibit where I spoke about having that ED, where she sent me a text showing, it was like an Instagram text, and she was asking me, so in the Instagram, it was promoting like this husband took this sexual stimulant and it made him like a real beast in the bedroom. So she sent text to me. She said, which honey pack is this? And she mentioned definitely not the one from the gas station that I picked up. And then I just responded, I have no idea.
Okay.
So
Well, let me say this. I don't believe your wife's testimony was that she was never interested in sexual activity with you. Okay, so anyway, I don't think we need to look at that one. What else do you have? And I'm listening to what you're saying and taking that in. Okay.
Okay. Well, it's kind of hopping around. Where, let's see. I'm trying to be quick.
You're doing fine.
Well, there was I didn't get to upload everything, and it takes so long. I'm just gonna cite some of the things. There was a statement where, oh, I'm sorry.
It's all right.
She sent a text, and within the content, she was saying how my daughter discussed her soul. She was saying she can't wait for court tomorrow because I'm gonna make that little demon. I can't. I'm going to make. April. Oh, no, that's not correct. I did screenshots, but of course they're in the phone, so I can always reference it back. Everything is kind of consolidated in. But she was saying how my daughter's a little demon. She said, my daughter, she said, ugh, she discussed my entire soul. At one instance, she said, my daughter, my ex-wife, she said, you Chelsea in 225 planned this, didn't you? Like, I don't want to insult her or make you feel as though I'm trying to insult her, but it's like where it was said that we need family counseling, marital counseling, things like that. I'm sorry, I'm trying to rush and I kind of lost my thought. But she was trying to insinuate that my daughter coming to my house from college and my ex-wife, that the three of us were colluding to get back together and put, kick my wife out and take the kids away. That's what she was believing in her mind. And at one point, when my wife issued the TPO to my daughter, I was at work, and I think
There's a TPO against your daughter.
She made one against my daughter also, and my wife Chelsea, she said, let her go to her mother. They're not going to arrest her, restraining order. They're not going to arrest her now, the restraining order. Just look up how it will affect her life. And then she said, she became angry because she thought I was talking to someone against her. And she said, I'm going to pull up on you. She said, answer the phone now. I'm on the way. That's in the text message. And
when was that?
I'm sorry, Your Honor, I don't have the dates, but they're all probably within. That's March 1st. That was March 1st, and I want to let the record know also that I had so much other information, and miraculously, my phone was deleted. Everything from March 1st all the way back out is gone. And my wife has all my codes to all my phones because we're open books. We don't have anything to hide. She accessed my phone, so she has all my codes to everything. So apparently, maybe when I was in the shower or asleep, she got my phone, and she already had motive to, because she said it in these pieces of evidence that my daughter and I are going to pay, and that's in one of these.
Did you submit that to the court?
I did.
If you can, Madam Clerk, I have no idea how we would find that.
And then
you could just, like I said before, just tell me what number. How did you label, if it's A1 or 21?
Okay. And I have some, but more, but they didn't get.
That's fine. Let's talk about what got submitted. Did you?
And then she even said, she admitted to me, and she said, I feel like I need mental help. So she's going back and forth. So every piece of content that she sent me during the TPO, it says how she missed me, the family missed me, she's in love, she can't wait for us to get back together. Every video, and she sent me about 50 illustrating this. So she presents on paper that I'm this monster, that all these allegations that I'm doing all of these things, but I have photo and video and audio, and even with the audio, she was trying to coerce me to communicate with her across the messenger, which the sheriff in the document said that is forbidden. She also sent me a text. I miss my daughter's, which London, who's 11. I missed her graduation because of the TPO.
Okay, I do apologize, Judge. I found one. I'm trying to go through them as he speaks. So I found one text that he was talking about court. Did you want to see that?
Sure.
Okay.
She also
Just
sent
a moment,
me.
sir.
Oh, I'm sorry.
All right. So can you tell me what this is? Is this a text message from your wife?
Oh, I'm sorry. It's not centered or something. I can't see. I can't see it.
Okay, try.
Sir.
Oh, maybe. Oh, okay.
I can see it.
Okay, I see it now. Yes, that's one. That's one.
Okay, just a second. Miss Richardson, do you have any objection to this coming into evidence?
I have absolutely no objection because what he's
that's all I need to hear. Thank you. Mr. Richardson, okay, so you already told us about this. This was sent in March or April?
It would have to be. I'm sorry, Your Honor. I have horrible memory.
Okay, that's fine. All right.
If I would say March. I would say March during the time of the TPO, and then I was also sent a text where my wife was trying to get me arrested because she sent a text and said that, insinuated that I should have come to the graduation and sat in the room and just sat on the other side of the room to watch my daughter's graduation. So she's trying to get me arrested for violating TPO.
Okay. All right.
There's more.
Okay. Well, I think I understand what you're saying. Okay. And I may come back to you if I have some more questions. Okay.
Okay.
So, if you have anything, I get what you're saying about the text messages that she's been saying since the TPO. Is there anything else you want me to know before I go back to your wife and ask her some questions?
Just that everything as a whole is a plot and it's embedded in somewhere in this. If not, I can provide it to the court. It's a plot to tarnish me, to make me pay. She said she wanted my daughter to pay, to suffer, and she wants me to suffer. She say my daughter and I are enemies, and she was going to do whatever it takes to make sure we pay. So her method of ensuring that I pay was exaggerating stories to present to court to you today, to get me kicked out of my home and and get into any trouble that she could try to get me into, because she feels that no one is on her side, and that she's gonna make sure that if nothing else, I'll get what's due to me. In that circumstance, that would relate to allegations that she can make up against me. And I have so much more that I could show you that
Well, I'm gonna talk to your wife now again, okay? And I understand there's a lot of exhibits and we may go back into them, okay?
And I was unable to upload a lot. There's a lot I could
we're
not.
Not gonna go back into that, okay?
Okay.
You guys are not the only hearing I have today, so I'm gonna have to keep moving this along. Okay.
And
yes.
Part of me sort of thinks that's a bit of a lie, though, Judge, because y'all didn't come back. I waited all day today, and you didn't come back. So, I don't know. Part of me thinks you're just trying to get this over with. We've got a couple more minutes of this, then we've got a few more videos tonight, guys. Don't worry, we're not done yet, but I would ask you to hit that like or dislike button down below. It helps me a lot with YouTube Daddy. Charles Blake, my friend, thank you so much for popping by. I hope you are doing well. We have all been thinking of you and sending you positive vibes and thoughts. Please, everybody, let's show some beeves in the chat for Charles Blake, who is visiting from his hospital bed, ladies and gentlemen. Beavers in the chat for Charles, please. Charles, we love you. We're sending you good vibes. We're serious.
Oh, you was talking to me?
Yeah.
Oh, I was just saying that in the mediation, I had said that I was.
Well, we're not going to talk about what you all said in mediation.
Oh, no.
Private.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Well, I want to return to my home and to my family.
Okay.
And seek the counseling, seek the treatment, mental evaluation.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Mr. Richardson. I may have some more questions for you. You can mute now. All right, Ms. Richardson?
Yes.
All right, ma'am. Ms. Richardson, did you send him some texts while the TPO, after you've been served with a TPO?
Yes.
Okay, and were they, as he characterized them?
So, as far as, I guess I could start with
I think some of them have been submitted as evidence, so we can pull them up if you want.
That's fine.
I mean, if you want to just tell me about it, though, that'll work too.
So I could start with the lingerie photo. I sent him, because pretty much me being at home with the kids, that's what I do. I send TikToks and all that other stupid stuff. So I sent him a video, a lingerie set, like, because I'm thinking, like, this is the stuff I want to, like.
So, ma'am, why did you send him text messages during the TPO?
I wasn't told that I could not contact him. And my whole reasoning for this is I wanted him to realize why we are here. It was never because I want a divorce, or I don't love my husband, or I, like you said earlier, that I expressed that I'm not sexually into my husband. It's because of all the abuse that I just wanted him to realize is a problem, is not normal, and to stop it. And just by, I'm sorry.
Well, here's a sort of a broad question for you. Are you asking the court to extend this to a 12-month protective order?
Especially after what I just heard now, yes, because he doesn't get it. He doesn't get why we're here. He doesn't understand what he has done, the physical, whether sexual abuse, the physical, the verbal, how it's affected me, how it's affected the kids. I never said he was abusive to the kids or horrible to them all the time. But when I initially filed the petition, he had never it all came as a shock how he treated them, and him putting his arms around my neck, even though he had been violent in the past. We hadn't been doing any of that. None of that had been the case until his daughter came with all of, I won't go
So
there.
you heard his testimony about that happened during an altercation between you and his daughter. Is that when it happened?
No. Thank you, because I actually forgot about that. When he put his hand, my 9-year-old and my 12-year-old were asleep when that happened. They did not see that. That happened the next day. We were downstairs. I was talking to him. He was in the kitchen. I know you don't know where my kitchen is, but it's 2 rooms. He was in one room. I was in the dining room with my 2 kids. It was a heated discussion, but I wasn't fussing, I wasn't cursing, and I was nowhere near him. Then he walked across the room, rushed across the room, and put his hands around my neck. So that was a bold-faced lie.
Charles, I have a special message for you from somebody special in the kitchen household. So listen up.
Hi, Charles. This is Paisley's Nana. And I heard you have been sick, so I hope you get well fast.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks for doxing me, Nana. I love you too.
Okay. So, all right, you are asking for a 12-month protective order. You're asking for custody of the children and him to have no contact with you in any way. Is that what you want? That's what you're asking for?
Unfortunately, yes. Because 30 days was not enough for him to see the problem with that behavior. The fact that he's lying about that
All right,
behavior.
I'm going to put y'all in a breakout room, or not a breakout room, but the waiting room. We may need to take a lunch break, and I'll come back to this. And
She said that, but she never came back. That was special for you, Charles. I hope you enjoyed that. Nana says, you have to remind me not to say your name. Okay, Nana. I've told you 1,000 times. But it's okay, guys. We have something else coming up. Give me one moment. Take this time to subscribe if you're not already subscribed. It's a great time to do that. Remember one of our amazing, magical, fabulous mods in the chat. Somebody very dear to me, Monica C. It is her birthday today, and she sent me a little video, a special little tidbit that personally I'm jealous of because it includes one of my favorite judges that I love to hate who no longer streams on YouTube, and I used to watch for 5, 6, 7 hours a day. Honestly, seriously, I was like all into this case, into that court. And Monica has sent me. Let me see if this link works. It might have. Let's see. Yeah, it has. Okay. Let's see.
Apparently it's a birthday. Happy birthday, Monica.
So right up here we have Judge Sims. She's from Texas. Where in Texas? Centex, Centex Child Protection Court number 2, if I recall correctly. And in the middle is, if any of you are Law Talk with Mike watchers, you'll recognize these people from the Thruple clip. But I used to watch them all the time. Anyways, so this is last year or 2, I'm going to have to guess 2 years ago, Monica, on your birthday, because I don't think maybe they were up last year, but watch this. Oh, I love Judge Sims for multiple reasons. Number one, she streamed all day. So the inter-office stuff we got to see. Loved it. Second thing was she left the chat up. So oftentimes they would even read the chat and be like interacting with people. Like I know from a fact, the guy in the middle, Mr. Messer, who I always thought put his name like that on purpose so that his actual name would be not visible. But Mr. Messer walks a lot in their town, like miles a day. Anyways, so let's just go ahead and listen to this wonderful video that Monica has sent me and wish her yet again a happy, happy birthday. And she gave you permission? Are you kidding me? Is this the only clip I'll ever show that we have permission to show? That's nuts. You're making me an honest woman.
Apparently, it's a birthday. Happy birthday, Monica.
She said, apparently it's a birthday. Happy birthday, Monica? Seriously, that would make my birthday. That would make my year. Yeah, that court was a whole different ball game. And like full of really, really tough cases. It was a CPS court, obviously, and just the way it operated was like unbelievable. On like 6 phones ago, I probably have recorded content of that court when I just like couldn't believe what I was hearing. I would often record on my phone even before I was planning on posting anything, but I don't have those now. Well, I have the phones, I just don't have. Charles was told to wash from head to toe today. Oh, Charles. It's the thought that counts. I don't know what to say. I still remember your joke about applying for disability with 2 missing legs and being denied because you need to have 3 to qualify for disability, which is not a good thing, obviously. Okay, so we have now some Judge Webster from Texas. You know what? I have to be honest. I know you all love Judge Webster from Kansas, but I'm partial to the Texas Judge Webster. I'm gonna just be honest. He revs my engine, let's say. I just love it when he hums sometimes. I just love it. I love his mind getting into things. Did he carry? Which one was it? Because that's where we're going. Was it a longer one or a shorter one? Because I pick them based on how I feel. Yeah. We're going to start with this one. If you remember, it was shorter, like 15 minutes or under 5. Because yesterday he had a doozy where we talked about the person kidnapped the kid and all that kind of stuff. That was crazy at the end of yesterday. And that was like in under 12 minutes or something. I was like, we've got this one here. Everything on him was under 30 minutes today. So let's just get going with this one. And if you do find out which one it was, let me know. If not, we'll just watch a couple of these. Also, Charles, seriously, we are sending such good vibes. We want you to feel better. Let us know if you need anything, okay? And Discord, if you can get onto Discord, you can post pictures there.
This court's going to call cause number F241675. This is in the 279th District Court of Jefferson County, Texas, and it's in the interest of Jalen Chachere. Ms. Chachere and Mr. Mouton and any other witnesses that are going to testify, please raise your right hands.
Nova.
Solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Ready.
Miss Shasharay, you gonna tell the truth? I think we lost Miss Shasharay. Miss Shasharay, can you hear me?
Sir.
You can put your hand down, Mr. Mouton. Miss Shasharay,
Yes, sir.
please raise your right hand, please.
Shasharay.
Shasharay, please raise your right hand. You solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. You can put your hand down. You call your first witness, Miss Alexander.
Thank you. The state would call Miss Shasharay. Miss Shasharay, what is your full name?
Sabrina Rio BC Shasharay.
Okay. And what is the name of the child before the court today?
Jalen Shasharay.
And what is Jalen's date of birth? What is Jalen's date of birth?
She's looking it up? Did she dip and begin to look it up? Weird. Also, Carrie, yes, thank you. I see that. I will pull that one for next.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
March 1st, 2016.
Okay. Sorry. Who is the father of Jalen?
Willard Mouton.
Okay. Was there DNA testing that was completed on this case?
Yes, ma'am. I was called to a center in Beaumont, Texas.
Thank you. Your Honor, the state would enter the states that exhibit the DNA testing results in this case.
Miss Shasharay, I've just placed on the record a copy of the alleged DNA test results. Is it okay if I look at the DNA test results?
Yes, sir.
Same question, Mr. Mouton. Is it okay if I look at these DNA test results?
Sir.
Is that a yes or a no?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. The state's exhibit A is admitted into evidence. Based on the admission into evidence of state's exhibit A, the court's going to find that DNA testing has been completed in this case in regards to the child Jalen Shasharay, and I'm going to find that the alleged father, Mr. Willard Mouton, is found to be the biological and now the legal father of that child.
Actually, that's a funny thing to say. You are not the father. Actually, has anybody seen paternity results come back like that in a court case? Because I have. It wasn't good.
Ms. Shasharay, do you have any safety concerns between you and Mr. Mouton?
Yes, I do.
What are those safety concerns?
Like I said, he's never tried nor attempted to be around me or my son. I don't know why he wants to now. I don't really care to know. Like I said, I just know that when I did reach out, when I did attempt, he was not interested in that, more so or less trying to procreate yet another child. And that is not my intent nor my reason of even speaking with him. So like I said, I don't trust him. I don't know much about him. He's never tried to contact me or my son that I know of. And I just don't want him around me or my son.
When was the last time you attempted to contact Mr. Mouton?
I would say around 2017, 18. I was working at a gas station. And I seen him. He accidentally walked in to my store not knowing that's where I worked.
Okay.
And was purchasing beverages or whatnot. And didn't ask about the child at all. Kind of stunned.
Thank you. When did Mr. Mouton know that he was the father?
I want to say, I'm trying to think, I was still pregnant. I want to say I was about 6 months in. I I had him come to my mother's house. I told him it was a possibility. I'm not sure what happened. You know, it is what it is, but you need to figure it out, what's going on. And my mother was there as well. She's not with me today, but if I need to have her come in, I can.
Okay.
After that, I never seen or heard from him again.
Okay. And are there any other safety concerns you have? Do you have any concerns as to Mr. Mouton knowing your address?
Yes. I mean, I know that I don't know if he legally or not carries a pistol, but I know that he does. And like I said, I just don't trust anything like that around my child. I'm not going to.
Are there any other safety concerns other than not trusting him and not knowing him?
Not at this moment, no, ma'am.
Who makes the day-to-day decisions? Back up. Does Mr. Mouton know where you currently live?
I'm not sure.
Would you have concerns if he was to know your address and it was put into the court record?
Yes, ma'am.
What are those concerns? It's okay. You can let the judge know.
Is there any history of family violence in this case, Miss Alexander?
I'm trying to ask those questions of Miss Sherman.
Well, you're referencing an address, and I was kind of thinking that she might be confused about what it is actually trying to pry out of her.
Well,
Hello?
I'm asking what her concern is, why her address would be put into the court record. She's saying
Because
she
I
does.
I don't want him to pop up nowhere near my house. I don't want him to feel like it's okay to come and see my child. I don't want any kind of contact whatsoever. That's what I'm saying.
And why do you not want any contact at all with Mr. Mouton and with the child?
Like I said, I fear for his safety. I don't know much about him. I like I said, I tried to. That was not his interest. That's not, like I said, what he.
That's not going to cut it for Judge Webster at all. Yeah.
He was thinking we were not on the same level. Clearly underestimated him, aged and whatsoever. But I just, as a mother, I don't trust it. No. Like I said, I was approached.
I'm sorry, what was that? What were you saying, Miss Sashray?
Because I didn't ask to be taking a picture with or anything. Like, I know that he has multiple other kids. So like I said, you don't even have time for this one, which is great because I don't want to be anywhere near him.
Okay. So who makes the day-to-day decisions for Jalen?
I do.
And who makes the major decisions for Jalen?
I do.
Okay. And you live in Jefferson County, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And has Dad had any visits at all with Jalen since he was born?
No.
What concerns would you have if he was to start with supervised visits?
I'm just not comfortable with that at this moment.
Child covered with health insurance.
Carrie said the other one was good,
Yes.
but this one's going to be juicy in a minute because, yeah. Oh God, look at Judge Webster's face. Look at his face. Shit. 9:04. I gotta mark that down so I can catch that for the next. I don't even have a pen. Who am I joking? Let's just keep going.
How is the child covered with health insurance?
I mean, right now he has Medicaid until I start my job, but right now that's what it is. He does do his regular scheduled dentist appointment, doctor's appointment. Hey, shh, I'm on the phone.
Okay,
Calm
thank
down.
you. Thank you.
Get back, Jay.
I'm sorry. Are you asking for retroactive back child support or just current child support moving forward?
Yes, ma'am, retroactive.
Retroactive. And when did you say Dad knew that you were pregnant?
6 months.
Okay, thank you, Judge. No further questions, Your Honor.
Okay. Call your next witness.
State will call Mr. Mouton. Mr. Mouton, can you state your full name?
Willard Clayton Mouton Jr.
Okay. 1 second. Are there any safety concerns that you have, Mr. Mouton?
No, ma'am.
None. Does Ms. Sachary know where you live?
No, ma'am.
Would you have any concerns if your address was put into the court record?
Yes, ma'am.
And what would your concerns be?
Last time I did talk to her and she was telling me about him, she still wasn't really sure if he was mine and was trying to invite me to come over to a birthday party and stuff like that. I just don't want no dealing with her and her little friend because they were saying some comments and stuff that I wasn't.
Mr. Mouton, you can't tell me what other people said. Okay, so when you make comments like they were saying, I can't hear that. You can tell me what Ms. Sachary said to you, but not somebody else, okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Go ahead and ask your question, Ms. Alexander.
Oh, thank you. What type of visits have you had with Jalen, if any?
I seen him once after he was born, and she still wasn't sure if he was mine or not. And after that, I had no more dealing with him.
And how many times has she told you that you might not be the father?
Like she said when I think when we was at her mother's house, she said it in front of her mom too. She wasn't sure if he was mine or not.
So mom makes all the decisions for the child at this time?
Yes, she does.
And mom makes all the major decisions for the child at this time?
Yes, she does.
How many other children do you have, Mr. Mouton?
4.
4 other, and they're your biological children under the age of 18?
3 are under the age of 18.
Okay, so you have 3 other children, your biological children, all under the age of 18, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And then you have Jalen.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, where do you currently work?
I work for the railroad.
And how long you been with the railroad?
About 6, almost 7 years now.
7 years. And what is your job position with the railroad?
Labor.
Labor. And how much do you make?
I have to look at my check stubs, and they email them, and I don't really check my email.
Do you not know what you make an hour?
They started off at like 17, but I think they done upped it a little more.
So you're saying you make at least $17 an hour, and is that when you started, just recently? You've been there 7 years.
Yes, that's when I started. Well, when I started, I was making less. But since the raise, yeah.
So you think you're making a little bit more than $17 an hour, is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay, and how many hours a week do you work?
40.
40. Do you do any overtime at all?
No, ma'am.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Okay, call your next witness.
The state would call Ms. Boudreaux.
She's been sworn.
Ms. Boudreaux, what is your full name?
Lola Boudreaux,
Okay, and where do you work?
the Office of the Attorney General.
And what are some of your job duties with the Office of the Attorney General?
Calculate child support, review and calculate child support.
And is there some other information that you find?
Reviewed Mr. Mouton's wages for.
And what did you find any reported income for the first quarter of 2023?
I did.
And how much was that?
First quarter of 2023 was $12,437.50.
And what did you find for the fourth quarter of 2022?
$11,671.89.
Was there another employer for that particular quarter?
There was.
And how much was that for?
$2,808.
And what income did you find as it relates to the third quarter of 2022?
Third quarter, $9,142. Second quarter, $9,431. First quarter, 2022, $7,390. I did a total of $52,880 for a period of 15 months across 2 employers, which gave me a monthly gross average of $406.70.
Okay. And did you happen to find?
I apologize. The gross for that is $3,525. My apologies.
Thank you very much for correcting that. Did you find any total reported income for 2021?
I did.
Do you happen to have a total amount for that?
Total, I did not calculate. There was question as to whether or not we were going to address retro, but I can give you a quarterly amount for 2021. The fourth quarter of 2021 was $8,822.50. Third quarter 2021, $7,311.25. Second quarter of 2021, $10,705. First quarter of 2021, $7,786.50.
All right, we need to back up because something's not making sense. Ms. Boudreaux, you testified to what the last 4 quarters were. And you said when you got done with your calculations, it was how much a month was the gross?
$35.25 for
you.
It was a 15-month period.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry, Ms. Alexander. You can continue.
Do you happen to have any reported income for 2021? 2020, my apologies.
I do not.
Was there anything for 2029? I'm sorry?
2019. Nothing after 2021.
I realize now why they're going back. In Texas, there is a 4-year limit for back child support arrearages. Although I do think, pardon me, that hi Richard Crabb. I do think that he might not issue the back child support in the same way that he always does. Or that he could necessarily, because she's not necessarily being forthcoming with this child. So the paternity may have been indicated and not confirmed, R. Fulmer. So, for example, when this case started, the judge would have offered him the one opportunity to get a DNA test, and he would have the ability to take that. But because I don't believe that I think because if that was the case, it would be beneficial for people to uh, avoid DNA testing as long as possible. And I don't think that they want to make that the case. And so I doubt that it's actually indicative on when you get the DNA test necessarily, which is why they've put in this 4-year limit. So even if, let's say, the child was 8 years old, he's not able to go back 8 years. You're only able to go back the 4 years. So that is why they're asking back to 2019.
Was found after the child was born.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. No further questions, Your Honor.
Okay. Call your next witness.
No further witnesses, Your Honor.
Well, let me get some numbers out of the way. Mr. Mouton, you said you have 3 other dependents that are under the age of 18. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And how many of those 3 children live with you?
2.
All right. So the other child, are you court ordered to pay child support for that child?
Yes, sir, I am.
Okay. So you've got 2 living with you and 1 you're paying child support for.
Correct.
Do you have insurance on those 3 children?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You got that through the railroad?
Yes, sir.
Do you know how much it's going to cost you to, it's not going to cost you anything to add this child to your insurance, is it?
I don't believe so. I have to check with them and see.
Do you know how much money it costs you every month to keep your kids insured? Insurance, medical, and dental?
A little bit over, I think it's like $200 and something a month.
Okay. What about the dental?
That's for everything.
That's for everything? Okay. You said that you saw this child at some point in time in the past, Mr. Mouton, after he was born. When was that?
I say probably when he was about 1.
Okay. And you said that you had a conversation with Miss Shashir, and she said that you may not be the father at that time.
Yes, sir.
All right. Was there somebody else in her life as far as you knew personally?
No, sir.
Did you ever take any steps, Mr. Mouton, to confirm that you were this child's father?
No, sir, I didn't. After I talked with her and her mom.
That's the caveat, because in Texas, they have something called the Paternity Registry. And the Paternity Registry is something where you, as a man who has sex with people, can go and register yourself in the Paternity Registry. And I honestly don't know more about that. But basically, it's your responsibility in Texas. Similar, like in Georgia, they have a legitimation process. In Texas, they have the paternity registry. So I'll have to look it up again. I remember this from my Texas CPS case days. Those days.
No, sir.
All right. So some of that's on you, right?
Correct.
Thank you for admitting it. That's the first start. Do you want to have contact with this child, Mr. Mouton? Do you want to be in this child's life?
Yes, sir, if that's possible, yes.
Well, it's going to be possible. I'm going to give you the right. But you understand that you've never had any contact really with this child, so it's going to have to be slow and steady at the start.
Yes, sir.
All right. So you have 3 other children, 2 live with you and 1 does not. The child that doesn't live with you, Mr. Mouton, how old is that child?
He's 8.
What's his name?
Cameron.
And where does he live? What city?
Port Arthur.
Okay. Do you live very far from you?
Somewhat, not too far.
Do you see him? You spend time with him?
Yes, sir, I do. I get him on the weekends.
Okay, so you get to spend the weekends with him and holidays and summer?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you said that you worked for the railroad for the last several years?
Yes, sir.
You got a criminal background, do you?
No, sir.
I mean, it's hard to do that with the railroad because they have some specific rules they have to follow in regards to their hiring practices. Okay.
I agree, R. Fulmer, that Texas is a little bit weird with the paternity registry, as in, no, that doesn't actually establish paternity. However, it is what I would consider the logical step to legitimating a previously unlegitimated child in Texas. It is free and you can do it, and it seems like nobody knows about it. But if it, let's say this guy goes, yeah, once she told me she was pregnant, I went online and I registered on the paternity registry for this child. And that would speak volumes to the judge if he was worried about giving him visitation rights or something like that. On the other hand, as I say that out loud, he's not really worried about it to begin with. He's going to give them anyways. What it would have done is prevented that child from being adopted without his consent, which is basically the point of that registry. Texas has a presumption of parentage if there is a marriage. So one time I saw a case where the father on the birth certificate, the presumed father on the birth certificate, was not the biological father, and or they didn't think he was the biological father. They had been divorced, or not divorced, sorry, they had been separated. She had been with another man, and then she died. And it was like a showdown between these two people, the dads. So this one guy that was like out of the woodwork rando, he was an older guy too, I remember. And then the presumed father, legal father, who was already on the birth certificate, they were arguing this, and it was a CPS case at this point because something happened to the mom. So the child was in CPS custody. They were deciding who was going to be getting custody. So again, one of the many cases I've watched, and I wish I could have recorded.
Thank you, Mr. Mouton. Ms. Shashir, can you hear me? You got to unmute, man. There she is. Can you hear me, Ms. Shashir?
Hello. Yes, sir.
All right. So, did you ever tell Mr. Mouton that somebody else could be the father of this child?
I did. I told him I was unsure.
Okay.
Is they out of school?
Not yet, baby.
Huh?
Not yet. You got like 2 more hours.
2 more?
Behave, Jay.
2 more, yeah.
That child's not
Behave.
bothering
Mom,
me,
that's
Ms.
your
Shashir.
friends?
Ms. Shashir, you hear me?
I'm sorry.
That baby's not bothering me. Don't you worry about it.
He's being nosy. He looking.
That's all right. He
he's
can
just
be
trying to
nosy.
see.
I
He
love
wants to say
kids. I
hi.
especially love nosy kids. So don't worry about that.
He wants to say hi, if that's okay.
He can say hi. He can bother me.
Yes, friend.
Good morning.
I bet that was a boyfriend.
Say good morning.
Ms. Shashir, I need to talk to you about Mr. Mouton's contact rights with this child. I'm going to establish that he's the father. Well, I actually have already established he's the father. And I'm going to establish conservatorship, child support, and medical support. But the laws of this state require that I give Mr. Mouton contact rights. You understand? He's the father. He's entitled to contact rights. So I'm going to order that. All right.
Yes, sir.
But it has to be some kind of limited contact
Ooh,
rights
your
at the
butt
start,
start.
because Mr. Mouton doesn't know this child and he has to learn to get to know him. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. But I'm not dealing with an infant now. This child's born in 2016. This child's, 6 or 7 years old, right?
Yes, sir. He's 7.
All right.
He's been through a lot. Like I said, my family's not perfect, and
That's okay.
He's really shy when it comes to meeting new people, and I just don't want him to be uncomfortable at all.
Well, it probably will be a little uncomfortable at the start, Miss Shashir, but that's how it's going to work until Mr. Mouton gets to know this child. Okay. Man, that's just how it has to be for a little while. And you live in Jefferson County. Is that true, Miss Shashir?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Will it be supervised, or how is that?
At first, yes, ma'am. At first, it will be. There'll be a certain number of supervised visits followed by unsupervised visits. I'll explain it to y'all after I make my ruling. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Anything further from the state?
Nothing further from the state.
All right. So, Ms. Shashir, is there anything else you think I need to know about this case before I make a ruling?
No, sir.
Okay. Mr. Mouton, is there anything else you think I need to know about this case before I make a ruling?
Yes, there was an incident to where I was contacted a while back when I still wasn't sure if he was mine, that CPS was involved concerning him.
Did you run out and hire an attorney, Mr. Mouton, and try to get custody of this child?
No, sir, I didn't.
Then don't bring it up.
I didn't know he was mine.
Mr. Mouton, that's the problem. You waited for the AG's office to file a lawsuit to establish that you're the father. And here I am about 30 seconds from starting my decision in this case. And you want to try to claim Ms. Shashir may not be a competent parent. You should have made steps on that when you had rumors that CPS may be involved in your son's life.
Can I speak,
Wait,
please?
that's okay, Ms. Shashir. You guys are just going to keep throwing dirt at each other. It's not going to make this any easier for the child.
No, I wasn't throwing any dirt. I was just trying to clarify that situation.
It doesn't matter. It's not relevant to my ruling.
Okay, well, great.
Yeah, it's not relevant to this. If it was relevant, somebody would have run out and filed a lawsuit to take that child away from you, huh?
Thank you. Exactly. And I've had my son.
Yep, and they didn't, so I'm not worried about it. The court's going to find the court has jurisdiction. The court's going to find, based on the testimony of the party, that is certainly not in the child's best interest to name the parties as joint managed conservator. Ms. Shashir will be named as a sole managed conservator. Mr. Mouton will be a possessory conservator. Mr. Mouton will have visitation rights in this child, but based on the fact that there's been very little, if no any contact with the child, and that's through nobody's fault, I got to get the child comfortable with the dad, and so there's going to be some phases. There's going to be 10 visits at each phase, Miss Alexander. So what that means, y'all, is it means there's going to be 10 supervised visits. That'll be 1 to 5 on the first, third, and fifth Saturday of each month, beginning June the 1st of 2023. When those 10 supervised visits are finished, then Mr. Mouton will begin unsupervised visits for the same time and the same days of the week. So that'll be 10 unsupervised visits for 4 hours on the first and third and fifth Saturday of each month. When those 10 visits are done, then Mr. Mouton will have 10 visits unsupervised for the day, when he will pick the child up at 8 o'clock in the morning on the first, third, and fifth Saturday of the month to keep the child till about 5 o'clock that night. When those 10 visits are done, then Mr. Mouton will begin his overnight visits, where he will have one night of overnight beginning at 6 p.m. on Saturday and ending at 6 p.m. on Sunday, also beginning the first, third, and fifth Saturday of each month. Once that last phase is completed, then Mr. Mouton will have visitation as per the standard possession order. So that's every first, third, and fifth weekend of the month, every other major holiday, and every summer, and 30 days in the summer. Okay. Now, in regards to child support and medical support, this is my ruling. I'm going to order that Mr. Mouton will be ordered to maintain the health insurance on this child through his employer. He's going to pay child support as per his information and from Miss Boudreaux's information, based on what he earns. And believe it or not, he actually does make about what he said. It really wasn't that much difference, which I was surprised because he'd been working for this company for a while. But I'm going to find that child support in this case, given three other dependents, is $440 per month. $440 per month. That's what the ruling is. There will be no retroactive child support in this case. Court costs will be paid by Mr. Mouton, but I will give him until November the 30th of 2023 to pay my court costs. Does that take care of, any request for non-disclosure in this case is denied. There's got to be some history of family violence, and there's no evidence of that. Ms. Alexander, the state of Texas, here are all the terms and conditions of my court order.
Just want to make sure that was 440 for the child support, and that
Yes,
will
ma'am.
begin June 1st, Your Honor.
June 1st. Yeah, I based it on 3,600, I believe. So,
Thank you, Judge.
okay. Mr. Mouton and Ms. Shashir, what's going to happen now is Ms. Alexander's office is going to send me a proposed court order. If it matches what I said here today, sign it and get it back to them, and they're going to make a copy of it and send it to each of you. Okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, I wish you both the best of luck. It's going to be tough because Mr. Mouton doesn't have any real relationship with this child. But if he wants to have one, I've given him the right to have one. And so he can get started slow, take it easy, and then y'all work from there. All right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. I wish you both the best of luck. You're both free to go.
Yes, sir.
Bye.
Oh, that was sort of cute at the end, don't you think? Also, this is special for Charles. Oh, wait, I gotta fix my camera. This will be special for Charles, Mayor, everybody. Oh, weird. And everybody, but Monica too, because it's Monica's birthday. And I'm like trying to figure out how I initially cropped this screen because I need this area right over here. Also, if you don't like anything that I put out on the internet, you have the ability to click away. You can even dislike it. Go ahead, leave a nasty comment. I don't care. I am me, and I do this because I enjoy it. I can close the computer anytime I want. I choose not to. And when I want to twerk, I will twerk. Okay? And when I want to show boobs, I'll show the fucking boobs. But seriously, for Charles to get better, I know you can't do this anymore, Charles, and I'm not trying to rub it in at all. I promise you. But seriously, a twerk. A twerk. This is a Canadian twerk. They also call it a beaver buffer. Oh, sorry. If you can't handle this, yeah, you probably should leave. Absolutely. I won't even feel bad about it. Bye. 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 Oh, also, you can start your own YouTube channel for free and post whatever you want. I think sometimes people think there's like entry requirement or something. Nope. Nothing. Nothing. In fact, you're already signed up. Okay. I do have another court video. I was like, what was I doing? I got distracted by my twerking revenge or twerking. What would you call that? Not revenge. It's not revenge. It's just like whatever it is when you flaunt that you don't care. Med check, Mayor. Med check, med check, med check. Good idea. Wart. We're doing twerking in court, and it's called Wart, which is very close to another one of my favorite words. Amy, I hope I did make you laugh out loud for real because that makes me happy. 16 minutes. You know, Ames, I don't see a 16-minute video from Jefferson or from Judge Webster or Carrie. It was Carrie. Sorry. Oh my God. That's YouTube Daddy. He's calling. He said, "What were you just twerking? Did you just twerk?" Cynthia said that's not okay. Never mind. No, it wasn't. YouTube Daddy don't care. Okay, I hope Charles had a good laugh. You deserve it, Charles. Let's go with a 14-minute episode. Also, by the way, I gained a lot of weight during COVID, and I'm back on my way down. The clothing is only going to get less and less. I'm just being honest. As I get skinnier, it's more in shape and more in shape. Back to myself. And take that as you will.
This court's going to call cause number C237774. This is in the 317th District Court, Jefferson County, Texas, and it's in the interest of Natalie, Layla, and Ariel Alvarez. Miss Yvette Vasquez, please raise your right hand and tell me that your hand is in the air.
My hand is in the air.
Miss Vasquez, do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am. You can put your hand down. Mr. Alvarez, would you raise your right hand and tell me that your hand is in the air?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Alvarez, do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. You can put your hand down. Lola Boudreaux, do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you, ma'am. You can put your hand down. Miss Overstreet, your case has been called. You can call your first witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'd like to call Ms. Vasquez. Can you state your name, please?
Yvette Cardenas Vasquez.
And you are the mother of Nathalie, Layla, and is it Ariel?
Ariel.
Ariel. And was Mr. Alvarez previously ordered to pay you child support and medical support in this case?
The last 3 years he was, but on COVID time, when COVID hit, he stopped providing the medical care, so they've been on Medicaid since.
Okay. So he was just previously ordered to pay the child support. Is that correct?
And medical, but he failed to do that.
But he wasn't ordered to pay cash.
Carrie, that's a different judge. No wonder I didn't find it when I was looking under Judge Webster, because that's Michael Page, girl. I'll see if we have time for that one after. I bet we do.
Medical, right? He was just ordered to provide the insurance.
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
Your Honor, at this time, I'd like to ask the court to take judicial notice of the prior orders in this file, and
Court will take judicial notice of its own file.
And I'd like to ask the court, if there's no objection, to enter into evidence the excuse me, the pay records in this case.
Ms. Vasquez, I've just placed on the screen a copy of the child support pay record in your case with Mr. Alvarez. Is it okay if I look at this pay record?
That's okay.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Alvarez, the same question. Is it okay if I look at your pay record?
Yes, sir. That's fine.
States Exhibit A is admitted into evidence.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Alvarez, one of the things we're asking for today is a judgment on the past due child support in the amount of $3,854.83 as of April the 30th of 2023. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am. I understand that.
I'm
Mr.
sorry.
Alvarez, she's not talking to you, okay? She's talking to Ms. Vasquez first.
Oh, I'm sorry. I
That's
apologize.
okay.
I heard Mr. Alvarez.
She did mention both names, but it's
And
okay.
I'm sorry. That was my fault. I meant to say Ms. Vasquez.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the question. I didn't know that was referred to me.
That's okay. You understand that we're asking for a judgment today in the amount of
Who are you
$3,854.
asking the question of, Miss Overstreet?
Ms. Vasquez,
Thank you.
in the amount of $3,854.83 as of April 30th, 2023.
Yes.
And Mr. Vasquez, has he paid you any money directly for child support that did not come through the state disbursement unit?
Mr. Alvarez, no, he hasn't.
Okay. And we're also going to ask for a payout on that. Now, you said the children are currently covered under Medicaid for insurance?
Correct.
And do you know if Mr. Alvarez has any other children under the age of 18 besides the ones that y'all have together?
He does not.
Okay. And do you have any personal information about where he works or how much he makes?
I do not.
Okay. Your Honor, I have nothing further. Ms. Vasquez, I'd like to pass the witness and call Mr. Alvarez.
Okay, go
I
ahead.
do not.
Thank you. Mr. Alvarez, can you state your name?
Felix Alvarez.
And you understand that we are asking for a judgment for past due child support today, correct?
Yes, ma'am. I think well, I was filing my taxes, so I think it should be covered up here in the next 2 weeks. I had to send it back because I didn't sign it.
Okay.
So they said probably in the next week will be covered.
Okay. And Mr. Alvarez, I need you to just listen to the question I asked and just answer the question, okay? Now, you don't have any other children under the age of 18, correct?
Correct.
Now, where are you currently working?
The same company that guy at McDermott. That's what I'm working with.
And I didn't understand the name of the company. Can you say it again?
The company that I got on file, McDermott.
McDermott, okay. And how long have you been working there?
I started like April 9th.
April 9th? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
And how much are you currently making?
31 an hour.
And how many hours do you typically work in a week?
The schedule is 5/10, ma'am. Well, that's the schedule.
5/10s, you said?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so right now you're working 50 hours a week?
Yes, ma'am, when depending on the weather.
Okay. Now, you do construction work, right?
Yes, ma'am.
What type of construction work do you do?
Refinery work, ma'am.
Okay. Are you in a union?
No, ma'am, I'm not in the union. We subcontractors. So it's
Okay.
most of the time it's like 6 months, 3 months, 5 weeks. It depends on the job.
Okay. Now, before you went to work for McDermott in April, who were you working for?
I was working for Wyatt Field Services.
Okay. And how long did you work for them?
I worked for them like it was originally to be anywhere 7 or 8 weeks, but we only did for 3.5 weeks now.
Okay. And how many in the last 12 months, how many different employers have you worked for?
Well, I would say anywhere from 4 to 5.
Okay. Did you? I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. Have you done your taxes for last year?
Yes, ma'am. 21 and 22 I already filed.
Do you recall what your gross was for 2022?
No, man. I can say I think it was I want to say it was like close to. I want to say it was 62 or 68.
Okay.
I'm not really sure, but I can. If y'all need, I can. I mean, I don't have the information here with me, but I can provide it if needed. I can get it out.
That's okay. Now, do you think McDermott is going to be a long-term job, or is this just a short-term job? Or do you know?
No, man, it's a construction work. This is what I was trying to tell y'all. Like, it's construction. Okay. Anything can happen at any given time. They can do a reduction of force, and I can be let go.
Okay. Do you? Do you know whether or not you would have any insurance available for the children through McDermott?
I had them. They offer it. They offer the insurance, and recently I applied for it, but I only applied for myself because Miss Yvette, she denied it. She said she didn't want the kids to be under my health insurance. So that was the agreement that she had. So I denied it for my kids. I only got it for myself.
Okay. Do you have any idea what it would have cost to add the children on there?
Well, only for no, man. I know for myself it was gonna be like 60. For myself, I'm gonna be paying $67 weekly just for myself. So I won't be able to tell you exactly the amount for my kids.
Okay. All right. Y'all have nothing further of Mr. Alvarez. I would like to pass him and call Miss Boudreaux.
Okay.
Thank you. Miss Boudreaux, can you state your name, please?
Lola Boudreaux.
And who do you work for?
The Attorney General's Office, Child Support.
And how long have you worked there?
20 years.
And what is your job title?
Financial Specialist.
And as part of your job duties, do you review our customers' wages?
I do.
And do you have any information on Mr. Alvarez's wages?
Yes. I looked at his wages for a period of 12 months. That included 5 employers. His total earnings for 2022 through for a 12-month period through the end of March 2023. Total gross $64,416.18. So that gave him a monthly average of $5,368.
Okay. Thank you. Your Honor, I have no further questions for Ms. Boudreaux and state res.
I'm not even going to say what I was just thinking about Miss Overstreet's now like 3-year perpetual sniffles and cough, allegedly.
Oh, expectations.
Well, the matrix is breaking for the judge, and we're seeing that he has the exact same wood shelves behind him.
Miss Vasquez, can you unmute for me, please?
Yes, I'm here.
So you went to the AG's office and they calculated child support based on whatever information they had and told you child support ought to be $1,680 a month, right?
I don't recall if that's what is stated. I'm sure.
All right. Well, they were wrong. They miscalculated the child support in this case. Okay?
Okay.
All right, because their calculations are way off. But you do have the children on Medicaid at this time?
Yes.
All right. Ms. Vasquez, do you have any questions about this case before I make a ruling?
No.
Mr. Alvarez, do you have any questions about this case before I make a ruling?
No, sir.
Court to find the court has jurisdiction. The court's going to find based on the testimony of the parties. There has certainly been a material substantial change of circumstance. Mr. Alvarez is making more money now than he was in 2019. I'm based on his testimony, the testimony of Ms. Boudreaux. I'm going to find that child support in this case is going to be set at $1,270 per month, plus an additional $185 a month in cash medical. Ms. Vasquez will be ordered to maintain the children the insurance that she has on the children at this time. All payments beginning June the 1st of 2023. I'll grant judgment against Mr. Alvarez for what he owes for the child support pay record. Find that as of April the 30th of 2023, he owes $3,854.83. He's going to be ordered to repay that at a rate of $40 per month, each and every month until it's paid in full. Court costs in this case will be due by Mr. Alvarez, but I will give him until November the 30th of 2023 to pay my court cost. Ms. Overstreet, did the AG's office hear all the terms, conditions of my court order?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so that's $1,270 in child support plus $185 in medical support.
And then 40 and 40 on the arrears.
40
Okay,
on the
I got it. Thank
All
you.
Mr. Alvarez, Ms. Vasquez, what's going to happen now is they're going to send me a proposed order. If it matches what I said here today, I'm going to sign it and get it back to them. Then they're going to make a copy of it and send it to each of you, okay?
Okay.
All right. Ms. Vasquez, do you have any questions about my ruling today?
I do not.
Mr. Alvarez, do you have any questions about my ruling today?
No, sir.
All right. You're both free to go. Y'all have a great day.
Thank you. Likewise.
All right, sir.
Wow, that ended up being a high amount. Like, didn't the dude before have annual income of like 56,000 and this was just 65? And yet wasn't his like, God, now I can't even remember. We just did that. That is a definite house payment. I mean, not here where I live, but it is a house payment some places. I hope you guys are doing well today. I really appreciate you. Mayor is twerking while he cooks sausages. Keep in mind, Mayor is a gnome, 5 inches tall. So it's okay. He could be doing it right here. Let's see here. So it does depend on the number of kids. It depends on the number of, there's so many factors that go into the determination. And of course, I live in Canada. Those are Canadian dollars, dude. These are American dollars. Good golly. Y'all know every dollar you give me is like $1.25 at this point right now. The other guy only made about $17 per hour, but that's not true because he worked 2 jobs. So he was making more than that. Thank you, Charles. I appreciate you being here. I hope you have a good night and you be well and mend yourself up. These are magnetic spice holders, Alex. They are indeed. They're magnetic spice holders and they are labeled and they have like the opening on the side so you can do just like do little holes if you like little holes, or if you prefer a really big gaping hole, you can do oh, sorry. This is more of a tight on the sides hole, and then if you really love a gaping hole, that would be this one right here. So, yeah, whatever hole you desire, they've got you covered. Oh, gaping hole for the win. That's what she said. You guys, I love you so much. You book readers, how it's $1 more in Canada, $1 more. Oh, dude, you're not getting the right books, because if you want to buy a book, like the price on the back of a book here will be like $15 US or like 35 Canadian. They're not commensurate to the actual exchange rate because they put the pricing on the back differently. So our pricing it's very similar to Alaska for some reason. There's huge markups on certain things in Canada, and also you just can't get certain things, and also the shipping is very expensive. So because obviously, like if you think about it, the exchange rate changes all the time, so it's not really practical to have the price of the book be reflective of an exchange rate difference. It's really that they price them differently for different markets. So I am so much fun at parties. You guys can tell. How many liters in a gallon, and what does a gas cost a liter? Okay, so in a gallon, a US gallon, I believe, if somebody could fact check me right now on this, but I believe there is 3 3.3. What? And that would be nuts. I just got a really crazy email. We'll see if it's real. Let me know if I know this off by heart. I believe it's like 3.7 liters per gallon. 3.7. Gas currently is $1.82 Canadian per liter. So you times it by 4. So it's almost $6 a gallon. 3.785 liters in a gallon. Look, I was very close. So 3.785. So you would take 1.82 times 3.785, and that would give you the answer. Also, I live on Vancouver Island, which is a great little place. $6.88 a gallon. Is that expensive? That's cheap for us. Our gas recently was as high as $2.43 per gallon or per liter. So 243 times 3.785, whatever that is. It was rough for a little while here. We had a really bad gas. Like it wasn't a shortage, it was just price went way up. So yeah. But I live on an island, and so there's extra transport costs. So $3.20 a gallon. What are you talking about? So divide that by 4. And you have to remember something else. So somebody do the math on the 243 or whatever. So 240, oh, hold on. I have a calculator. I should. One press of the button, I'm supposed to have a calculator, damn it. Okay, I don't, but oh, there it is. Look, here we go. So 243, calculator, 243, oops, times 3.785. Oops, I clicked out of there. I have to click back in. Times 3.785 is 9.20 a liter Canadian. So I'm just telling you because it's going to be a little cheaper for you. So 9.20 Canadian is actually, let's see what that is, American. 9.20 Canadian to US. It's $6.75. So our dollars doesn't go far as yours, unfortunately. Still, $6.75 a liter is quite high. Or not a liter, $6.75 a gallon. That's what that would be. So how many? Oh, the cars are the same, Charles. The cars are very much the same North American models. I used to sell cars, and the main difference in like for example, I sold Volkswagens, and you're going to have the same Volkswagen Golf, Jetta, Passat virtually between Canada and the US. So liter wise, I think it's like 24 liters or something like that in a tank. But what you'll find with cars, the main difference between cars in the States and cars in Canada, and this is excluding where I live, because we live in this little pocket of Canada that is actually deep south into the United States. So basically everywhere, Rockies over, you need to have what they call the cold weather package, or a cold weather climate like package, where you'll have an external block heater that has a plug-in that you can use in your garage. And you'd probably have those in some northeastern states as well, but we don't have that here. So the models are slightly different. You would more compare them to ones you would have on the West Coast than on the East Coast. But as we I know how car business works, and we ordered from Volkswagen Canada, who's a Canadian company, and there's a Volkswagen USA. So the pricing is different. The MSRP is different, but the sort of bones of the vehicle, most of, like, for example, a lot of the Volkswagens are made in a facility in Mexico. And you can always tell that there's on the inside of the door, it'll show where it's made. So, that you like people that buy Volkswagens that are like Volkswagen into it, they are obsessed. They like to know where their cars are made and all this different kind of stuff. It is very expensive to ship to Canada. It is very expensive to eat in Canada. Just everything's expensive. For example, like a case of pop for us would be maybe $8 a case of 12 pops, plus an environmental fee on top of that. And that's gone way up lately. Like groceries have gone way up in price comparatively to what they used to be. Yeah. The reason shipping is so expensive in Canada is because we are a very large country. We are the second largest country in the entire world, yet we have a very small population in relation to that vastness. And so there is a lot of our actually most Canadians, like 80% of Canadians, live within 100 miles of the US border to the south. And so it's a compensation to be able to service the whole country. Some places that are not exactly feasible to be sending mail to cheaply in order to, so the price for everybody is high. Like, for example, it's, Detroit and Toronto are very close to each other, but it's still expensive to send to Canada because Canada Post or our mailing system needs to be subsidized in a different way, basically. The thing is, back in the day, is tundra barren? So tundra, I don't know, like up north, yes. Above the like the 49th parallel, I think it's called. If I'm right, there is no tree line. So like nothing grows. I might be wrong on that. I failed a lot of school. You guys know that. I've been honest about that. When all over Canada, out of all of Canada, where I live is pretty much the best place. And that's why it's so expensive here. And it is incredibly expensive to live. And we have a rental occupancy, like availability rate of like less than 0%. It is seriously like 0.05%. So, yeah, it's a hard place, but it's once you've traveled, and I've traveled a lot of different places in the world, been very lucky to be able to do that. But what doing that has made me realize is that this is a very, 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 very good place to live, unfortunately. Unfortunately or fortunately, right? 4 12 packs for $13 US, right? Oh my gosh. So wait, okay. Okay, hold on. So 13 divided by 4, so 325 for a case or a 12 pack US. And I'm just doing math here. Okay, so then 325 US to Canadian. Oh no, wait. Yeah. So that would still only be $4.42 Canadian. That's amazing. That's crazy. I am in a fantastic place. It is actually a rainforest, and full of mountains and wildlife and very, very, very many very large trees. I grew up as a Girl Guide and like I did a lot of camping and outdoor stuff, and I just didn't recognize how lucky I was until I became older and started traveling around and realized like, oh, whoa, oh, not everybody has this out of their backyard, like available to just frolic in a forest or go to a little island or, you know, like the beach. I mean, the ocean. It's hard for me to comprehend that some people go their entire lives without seeing the ocean. I see the ocean almost every day, and I could absolutely if I wanted to as well. Um, anyways, guys. Wait, somebody said something about Wegmans. Joey, I'm going to tell you something. Wegmans has a place in my heart, even though, how do I know about Wegmans? Kitchen, how do you know about Wegmans? It's because I love the Doherty Dozen. Do you know the Doherty Dozen? The ocean is very cold, Charles. It is cold. I personally do not swim in the Pacific Ocean. There are a few places that you can swim, but it is very cold here. There's a lot of sea life. Yes, so Wegmans, I know, I'm so, like, seriously, I love Wegmans. For some weird reason, like, why? But it's because of her videos. People do swim in dry suits. I mean, my daughter swam in the ocean last week. Like, you can swim in the ocean. She did. But it's cold. It's like you would, if you wanted to go to the beach to, like, let's say, lay out a towel and enjoy. First of all, the ocean beaches here are very rocky for the most part. There's very few sand beaches around where I am. It is much more of a rocky shore. So if you want to do more of like beach sort of day, you would maybe go to a lake. We have the most lakes in the world as well. So we're good. We've got all the water. Um, the ocean is beautiful. Yeah, it's actually night time for me too. Um, I was thinking that I could bottle up some of the ocean. What I really wanted to do was have time served, go to the ocean when he's at the Jersey Shore this weekend, and then me go to the ocean here, and then us go live at the same time, touch the ocean, sort of like touching tips. Anyways, Carrie, I will work on it tomorrow, that other video. I have to get going. I love you all very much. Charles, I want you to make sure you get extra rest. Let us know if you need anything, please. We are a family here. We care about everybody. That includes Kate. Kate, you're important. Don't forget it. Pizza Man. Hi, my friend. You're just coming as I'm leaving, but go back and watch because I danced. It was fun. It was a great day. I love you all so, so much. Remember that. And I'm proud of you. And I will see you tomorrow. Charles, be well, my friend. It's very important. Everybody, take care. Love you so much. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.